As a result of long continuing research in the field of commercial explosives, the DuPont Company today manufactures more than 200 different formulations of dynamite, as well as other explosives, blasting supplies, and accessories. DuPont research has also brought to light new and more efficient ways of using explosives, including a new and better way to fire them, the DuPont Blasting Timer. It is now known that in some types of blasting, better results are obtained when one big blast is divided into a number of little ones, fired with almost unbelievable accuracy, a few thousandths of a second apart. The new DuPont invention, the DuPont Blasting Timer, detonates blasts in just this way. It looks like a portable radio. Inside the box, cams so delicately machined that they operate with greater accuracy than a fine stopwatch, close switches that fire the shots one after another. In developing natural resources such as coal and other minerals, blasting must occasionally be carried out near residential and business districts. Here, the timer is of service because it reduces the vibration of the ground. The DuPont timer also makes delay shooting even safer than before, providing an accurate means of firing the charges without using electric blasting caps in the drill holes and lessening the danger that an unfired charge will remain in a hole and go off later by accident. In addition, tests indicate that the DuPont Blasting Timer will be of considerable aid in rock quarries, bringing down the rock in smaller pieces, which means greater efficiency and lowered costs. This new DuPont invention is another contribution to efficiency and safety from the DuPont Company, maker of better things for better living through chemistry.
So now Toby Reed with a word to something that is really a matter of life and death.
Stand by for On Air. On air in 3, 2.
This is Radio Ridiculous, and we're on the air. In the headlines at this hour, in New York, the 1939 World Fair opens and celebrates the world of tomorrow because nobody is too thrilled with the world of today. The war in Europe gets worse every day. Roosevelt has said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, but of course he has a job. Weather and economic forecast depressing. That's what's happening in the world, which is why the rest of this show will be pure escapism. And now, return with us to the golden age of radio as Radio Ridiculous presents 3 great shows. Suspense-O-Rama, The Wacko Brothers Show, and the Condensed Classic Hour. This is Radio Ridiculous. Open the door to danger. Open the door to terror. Open the door to a world where evil goes unpunished and where door hinges seldom get oiled. Open the door to Suspense-O-Rama. Suspense-O-Rama brought to you each week by Durasquil, the multivitamin, multi-mineral tonic that adds iron to your bloodstream as we curdle your blood. Tonight's tale, Sorry, You've Got My Wrong Number. Friends, as you go through the day, are you tired, listless, enervated, and lethargic? Do you lack pep, vim, vigor, and zest? By the time you go to bed, are you exhausted, drained, bushed, and pooped? What you need to do is start, begin, instigate, and commence each day by drinking 2 tablespoons of Durasquil, the multivitamin, multi-mineral tonic that's guaranteed to give your body energy, power, vitality, and oomph. And now, for a limited time only, if you mail in 5 bottle caps of specially marked bottles of Durasquil, we'll send you a free thesaurus. Always get in the last word remarked sharp declaration and utterance. So be smart and start each day with Gerisquil, the multivitamin, multi-mineral tonic that's guaranteed to make you feel alive and redundant. And now, sorry, you've got my wrong number.
In all my years as a New York City police detective, in all my years as a human being, I never found a case as fascinating as the one I'm going to tell you now, that I was personally involved in. It still fills me with amazement and gratitude. I suppose the story begins in a dingy one-room apartment in the kind of bad neighborhood that gives good bad neighborhoods a bad name. According to the police interrogation, the conversation went something like this.
Do you have everything?
I got the key to the apartment, I got the gun, and I got the catnip.
Great. Now after I meet with our client,
Roy, I'm beginning to have second thoughts about this.
you're not turning yellow, are ya?
No, you know me. I wanted to be a killer ever since I was in the second grade. For the third time. But
But what, Gus?
she's a poor defenseless cripple.
The dame ain't poor. She and her husband live on Easy Street, with a view of the Easy River.
Okay, so she's a rich defenseless.
She has a highly overprotective cat.
She's a helpless cripple.
So?
It's my first murder, Roy.
So?
I always thought I saw with a no good rat and worked my way up to a helpless cripple.
Hey, we're probably doing her a favor. Stuck in a wheelchair all day, she can't do the things you and I do.
Like robbing and killing people?
Exactly.
But what if she's a good person?
She's in a wheelchair. She's forced to be good whether she wants to be or not.
That sounds so sad.
The way I sees it, this is like a mercy killing. That pays better. So, you win or out?
I don't know. It just seems so despicable. Then again, it's 1939 and I'm broke.
Great. You hold on to the bag with the supplies. I'm gonna pay a visit to our client to make sure we get the first half of our dough before he and his floozy leave to spend the night in Atlantic City.
The old Atlantic City alibi, huh?
Yep, he's coming down with the floozy. After our meeting, I'll call you at that payphone.
Oh, Roy, one last question.
What?
After we shoot the old lady and watch her die, who's gonna take care of the cat?
We gotta work on your attitude.
A half hour later, in a nice apartment on Easy Street.
Meow. Oh, Kitty, I'm so glad you're here. Why does Albert have to work so late, leaving me all alone?
Meow.
Well, almost all alone. And with the radio broken, I can't even listen to Amos and Andy, my favorite fake colored people. I'm gonna call him and insist he come home. Oh, his line has been busy so long.
Meow.
Good idea. I'll get the operator to interrupt.
Operator?
Yes, operator. I've been trying to reach my husband all night, and his line has been busy. I'm afraid it might be off the hook. Could you dial the number for me?
I'll try. What's the number, please?
Bovine 62491. Oh, it's so late, and I'm a helpless cripple, and it's my maid's night off, and I'm all alone, except for my lovable kitty.
So, Gus,
Yes, Roy?
there's been a change of plans.
Hello?
The motor's off?
No, it's still on. We'll meet at our apartment in 10 minutes, but our client has decided we shouldn't use the gun.
Who is this?
Then how do...
We strangle us, so there'll be no blood. Our client wants no blood.
He sounds very considerate.
He doesn't want to ruin their carpet.
What?
And then we take all the jewelry, so it looks like a robbery. And then maybe we cop a field.
Why do we do that?
Professional point.
How about if we cop 2 fields?
That's unprofessional.
I have so much to learn.
So, I'll meet you there in 10 minutes.
And what about the cat?
We smother it to death.
Then can I pet it?
No!
Oh, how awful! How terribly awful! Some poor woman and her cat are going to be murdered! I better tell someone.
Operator.
Yes, operator, I just asked you to dial bovine 62491, but you dialed the wrong number by mistake, and I guess the wires got crossed or something.
Do you want me to try the number again?
Wait, I listened to the call,
Well,
and
that's not nice.
I know, but they were planning a murder. Something had to be done.
What do you suggest?
Can't you dial the number and make the same mistake?
I'm sorry, but phone company policy prevents us from making the same mistake twice.
But you have to trace that call. It's a matter of life and death.
Life and death?
Yes, life and death.
Okay, let me get the life and death form.
The life and...
Here's Form 21H for matters of life and limb. No, that's not right.
What difference?
Form 45G, helper being invaded by Martians. Form 16Y, my neighbor thinks he has the power to cloud men's minds. Form 33B, my child just swallowed a decoder ring.
Will you hurry up?
Here we are. Form 9W for more matters of life and death.
Thank God you found it.
Now, where'd I leave my pen? I know it's around here somewhere. Anybody got a pen?
I've got a pencil.
A number 1 or a number 2?
Will you hurry? 2 cold-blooded killers are planning to kill a defenseless woman and her cat before the next commercial.
They're gonna kill someone tonight?
Yes!
Well, that's a different form.
I don't care about the forms.
You'd never make it as an operator.
I want to talk to your supervisor. Will you switch me to your supervisor?
Of course I will. One moment, bitch.
Of all the incompetents.
This is the supervisor. May I help you?
Yes, I was talking to one of your operators who is completely uncooperative.
Calm down, ma'am.
You don't understand. A cold-blooded murder is going to be committed in the next 10 minutes.
Welcome to New York.
Don't you think you should do something?
I've considered moving to Pittsburgh.
Hi. I don't want to move to Pittsburgh. I'm a cripple and...
You're a cripple? Oh, you poor thing.
I am not poor, and I am not a thing.
You know, I have a second cousin who's crippled. Maybe you know her.
It's not like we're in a club.
I pray for her every day. Would you like me to pray for you?
No, I don't need you to pray for me.
So you're an atheist.
This has nothing to do with...
I also have a cousin who's deaf. I'm sure you'd have a lot to talk about. Not that he'd hear you.
Of all the...
You know, the phone company is a very liberal company.
Is that so?
We even hired an operator in a wheelchair once.
Once?
But she had to be let go. She worked hard, but she kept wanting to use the bathroom, and her chair wouldn't fit in the stall. So my boss told her, if you really want to be part of this company, just don't eat or drink anything on the days you work. Oh well, we tried.
You know, our president uses a wheelchair.
Yes, but that doesn't mean he'd be hired by the phone company.
Of all the... Oh, go to Pittsburgh! Oh, now why'd I do that? Now he'll really think I'm nuts. Oh, if only I hadn't heard that call. Oh, if only I wasn't stuck in this apartment. If only I had a Rottweiler instead of a cat. I'm sorry, Kitty. I didn't mean it. I wouldn't want to have anyone but you. Besides, you and I know what to do in case I'm attacked, don't we? I know what I should do. I'll call the police.
Operator,
Will you get me the police department?
would you like your neighborhood precinct to main headquarters?
I don't care. Just give me the police.
Would you like the front desk, the detective unit of ours operation?
I want to prevent a murder. Get me the police.
One moment, bitch.
'43rd Precinct, Detectives Unit.
I'd like to report a murder.
And when did this murder take place?
In about 5-10 minutes.
Are you a psychic?
You don't understand. I was trying to reach my husband, but the operator got the wrong number, or the lines got mixed up or something, and I overheard 2 men planning to strangle a woman and smother her cat. And she lived in an apartment with nice carpeting.
Thank you for sharing that information, ma'am. We'll look into it. Good night.
Wait a second. Aren't you going to do something?
Like what?
Send out patrol cars. Arrest all suspicious men.
Lady, if we arrested every suspicious man in New York, we need to use New Jersey as a holding tank.
Yes, but
And how do you know it was a local call you overheard?
I just assumed.
maybe it was long distance. For all you know, while you're demanding the New York City Police Department round up every man in the city, some innocent woman and her cat in Albuquerque are getting horribly murdered.
They sounded like New Yorkers.
Maybe they moved to Albuquerque for their health. Now, ma'am, I've got some other matters to deal with, so if you'll
Aren't you
just...
going to do anything?
Would you like me to contact Albuquerque Police Department for you?
This murder will be on your head.
That's a rather messy metaphor, ma'am.
Well, you're not willing to do anything, stupid police.
Look, lady, there are a lot of murders planned every day in New York, and we prevent over half of them.
Well, why won't you prevent this one?
Because the information you've given me is so vague. Those thugs could be planning to kill anyone. They could be planning to kill you.
Why would they want to kill me?
Maybe they don't like cats.
But she's a nice cat.
Do you have any enemies?
No,
Not even one.
I'm a cripple. I'm lovable and non-threatening by definition.
Really?
I'm sweet to everyone, even our maid, who's so stupid she thinks the New Deal is a card game, and my husband. He waits on me hand and foot, except during the busy season.
And just how long has it been the busy season for him?
About 6 years now.
And how long have you been a cripple?
About 6 years. You're not suggesting.
I'm just asking questions.
Very rude questions. My husband loves me. He adores me. He worships the ground I roll on.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. It
Why,
just-
just this morning, he held my hands and told me, "Darling, I love you just as much as I did before you became a burden." He and I have a great life together when he's not coming home all exhausted and...
Do the two of you have a romantic life?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Sex.
I knew that.
Well, you said you
You are
didn't.
the rudest man I...
All right, so about your sex
My
life, is
sex
it...
life is fine, and once my husband stops working late, I hope to include him in it.
I think I understand.
There are a few things I've been practicing.
I think I have all the information I need.
My imagination is not the least bit paralyzed.
You don't have to draw a picture.
Even if I did, I couldn't send it through the mail.
Do you have any problems with your maid?
My maid and I get along perfectly well. I do get a bit annoyed when she steals our silverware, but I never say anything about it because she's a member of a minority group. And so, I'm proud to say, I pity her.
And what minority group are you referring to exactly?
Why, left-handed people, of course. I know they say they're born that way, but I think it's a lifestyle choice.
Is it possible the maid hired the killers?
On her salary? Not a chance.
Ma'am, you know what I suggest?
What?
Forget everything you heard.
That is the stupidest suggestion.
You spend most of the day ignoring that you're crippled, don't you?
Yes, but...
Well, if I were a cripple, I think I'd spend day and night trying to forget that I was crippled, even if I had to drink heavily.
You are the rudest individual.
Would you prefer to talk to someone else in the department? We have a lot of alcoholics.
I don't see the point of...
I'm just trying to help.
What is your name, detective?
Otto McMesserschmidt.
McMesserschmidt. That's an unusual name.
Well, ever since the war in Europe started, there's been a lot of ill feeling towards the Germans. I thought if I added a Mick to my name, I'd fit in better on the force.
That's very smart.
And if the Irish ever declare themselves to be the master race, I'll take the Mick right off.
Well, Detective McMesserschmidt, are you planning to do anything to prevent this crime?
I can't think of anything I can do.
But there are 2 hired killers on the loose.
Let me discuss this with my partner, Gustav O'Gebels.
Oh, forget it. Oh, now why'd I do that?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's Albert. Hello?
Western Union,
Yes?
I have a telegram for you.
Well, read it.
Darling dearest, I've been trying to call you for the last hour, but your line has been busy. Must go to Atlantic City overnight on business. I love you as much as life itself. Please stay off carpet. Love, Albert.
That's the telegram?
P.S. Ignore any rumors about me and a floozy. Would you like a copy delivered to you?
No, thank you.
You're welcome, bitch.
Oh, now what do I do? What do I do? Did you hear that? I think I heard the front door open. What are we gonna do? Shh!
I think the bedroom's in here.
Oh no!
There she is. Gus, fill up the bag with jewelry.
Okay.
I can handle this, dame.
Stay away from me. Unless unless you want trouble.
Don't waste your breath, lady. You don't got much left.
Stay away. I'm warning.
Okay, lady, you asked for...
Hey, lady, stop strangling my partner.
No.
Let go of him. Let go. Ugh.
Thanks, Gus. And now, lady, I'm gonna... Let go. Let go of my neck.
Let go of mine too. Oh.
One down and one to go.
Oh, you think you're smart, do ya?
Smarter than you. And I bet I exercise more too. Want to go another round?
Okay, lady, you asked for it. I don't care about the carpet. I'm getting my gun.
You ready, kitty? Yeah. Give me your tail.
Ah, get this cat off my face! He's ripping my face off!
She.
Ah!
Good kitty.
Detective O'Gebbles, you take the guy with the bump on his head to the station. You men, take this creep to the hospital. I hope for his sake they have a good plastic surgeon on call. I hate cats. It's indeed a pleasure meeting you, ma'am.
It's a pleasure meeting you, Detective McMesserschmidt.
Call me Otto.
Otto. And you can call me Lucille.
Lucille, I'm sorry that Thug's blood ruined your carpet.
That's okay. The lush pile always slowed my chair.
You know, Lucille, I'm very impressed by what you did.
Well, I do exercise regularly.
It just shows what even a crippled citizen can do with upper body strength and a good cat.
Well, not to brag, but I do have strong arms. And a powerful pussy.
The two thugs got 50 years in prison. The husband got life, and the floozy ended up in Cole Porter's next musical. Lucille did pretty good in the divorce settlement, and she immediately bought new carpeting. As for me, I fell in love, and I ended up with the smartest, sexiest gal in New York City. And her cat.
This is Radio Ridiculous. Radio Ridiculous will continue after this public service announcement. And now a message for all you lucky ladies who are about to embark on life's most fulfilling adventure, motherhood. Are you concerned about how well you'll be able to cope with noisy, screaming children? Are you already stressed because you know you won't get enough sleep for months or even years? Are you worried that you'll lack the knowledge, ability, and stamina to be the greatest mother in the world? Now is a great time to take up smoking. There's nothing like deeply inhaling on a cigarette to help you relax and focus while watching your belly grow to alarming proportions. And once that screaming little tyke comes home with you, you'll be amazed how much better you can feel with only 2 or 3 packs a day. Cigarettes are made from leaves grown in moist, fertile American soil, proof that God wants America to smoke. And if you take up smoking now, not only do you benefit, but so will that little baby in your belly. Tired of all those kicks? Take a couple of long drags and that baby will calm right down. So start your cigarette habit today, because life is short, so you might as well spend it smoking. This has been a public service announcement from the Council of Expectant Smokers. And now, back to Radio Ridiculous. Live from Hollywood, Flemner's Fine Foods present The Wacko Brothers Show. And now, here they are, those 2 crazy lunatics only a mother could love, if she ever comes out of hiding, Wally and Willie Wacko. And now, here they are, Wally and Willie Wacko. Anybody seen Wally and Willie? What could have happened to them? They never miss a show. It's on payday. I wonder where they are.
Well, great. My car has never given me a single problem, and after I lent it to you overnight, it's died on us.
Sorry, Wally. I started to appreciate you lending it to me last night. Give it another try.
Okay, I'll turn on the ignition and...
Touch me. Touch me.
It don't sound good.
You know, it was against my better judgment to lend you my car, but when you said you had a hot date and wanted to make an impression...
Thanks, Wally.
Did you make an impression?
Oh, yeah. We made an impression on your back seat.
Hey, but what went on in this car last night?
Nothing. Try it again.
Just kill me. Just kill me.
What happened to the car, Willie?
Hey, I treated this car great, and after the date, I filled up the gas tank, just like you asked.
You did fill the tank with premium, didn't you?
No.
You filled the tank with regular?
No.
You filled the tank with diesel?
No.
What did you fill the tank with?
Cousin Billy's moonshine.
You can't fill a luxury automobile's gas tank with moonshine?
Now you tell me. Hey, why don't you pump the gas pedal a few times and try again?
Okay, I'm pumping, and now...
I wanna die. I wanna die.
You've destroyed my car.
I can fix it.
And how exactly to propose to get my car running again?
Give it some coffee.
Coffee?
It always gets me running after I have Cousin Billy's moonshine.
Well, it's no good just sitting here. We might as well try hitchhiking to the show. If we're lucky, we can catch the second half.
You go ahead. I'm staying here.
You're staying here. Why?
Arithmetic.
Arithmetic?
If it takes half a show to get there, then it'll take half a show to get back. Why spend a half hour going nowhere?
Well, I'm going to give it a try. And while I'm at it, why don't you hitchhike to Siberia?
Siberia? It'd take half my life to get there.
Exactly.
Willie and Wally will be back in a moment, but first, let's listen to our fine friends at Flemner's Foods, where you taste the savings in every bite. Let's pay a visit to the Miller home, where Mrs. Miller has just made lunch for her 2 children.
Come on, everyone. Lunchtime. I made each of you a bowl of my chicken soup.
Oh, no.
I think my chicken soup is good.
Mom, when the chicken found out I was going to be in your soup, it's sold out of stock.
Now, really.
People who say from soup to nuts taste your soup and go, oh, nuts.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. The carrot's clinging to the edge of the bowl and trying to climb out.
I'm gonna feed mine to the cat.
Mom, is your chicken soup so bad that your family thinks it should be shipped to the Nazis? Then try Flemner's chicken soup. It's the soup you'd make if you knew how to cook. Each bowl of Flemner's soup contains over 2% of the recommended daily requirements of vitamin A and C. And it comes in 5 delicious flavors: chicken noodle, chicken rice, chicken vegetable, cream of chicken, and for dieters, cream of chicken with the cream skimmed off. More people eat Flemner's chicken soup every day than die on our nation's highways. Flemner's, the chicken soup recommended by 4 out of 5 vegetarians. And remember,
Once you've tasted Flemner's, you can't taste anything else.
and now, here he is, finally, Wally Wacko!
Well, everyone, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is that during the commercial, I learned that my auto repair shop towed my car into their shop, drained the fuel tank of moonshine, and had such a great party, they're not charging me for repairs.
Hey, Wally!
And here's the bad news.
Wally, after the show, could you give me a lift to the hospital? I need to visit a sick friend.
Oh, is it serious?
It's just awful. He just had his appendix removed. How he'll get through life without his appendix.
But Willie, we don't need an appendix.
We don't?
It's what's called a vestigial organ.
Vestigial?
That's an organ in our body that's never used, like your brain. The surgery is very common.
It is?
Why, I know a friend who had his appendix removed, and a week later, he was in such good shape, I picked him up at the hospital and drove him to his podiatrist to remove some bunions.
I see. First they remove the appendix, then the footnote.
Willie, when was the last time you saw a doctor?
I saw a nurse last night.
Really?
Yeah, she left a nice impression on your back seat.
I bet you need a checkup.
Oh no, I don't trust no doctors.
Are you afraid of doctors?
I'm not afraid of nobody.
That's a double negative.
That's what I think of doctors. They're double negative.
Are you in good health?
I do have this pain that's,
Where's it located?
it's located a foot below my script.
Well, I know a good doctor, and I'll make an appointment immediately.
Hello, Doc.
Well, hello. Sit right down, relax.
I'll try, Doc.
And you can take your feet out of the stirrups.
So why do you have stirrups?
They're for,
I bet you treat cowboys.
Right. Now, what seems to be the problem?
I have this pain in my lower belly.
I see. Is it a sharp pain or a dull pain?
I'm supposed to give it an IQ test?
Oh, when do you feel it?
Whenever I lift something.
Is the pain bad?
The pain is so bad. Last night I felt it when I was lifting my spirits.
Lifting your spirits? Where were you?
In a bar.
It sounds like you have a hernia.
A hernia? Uh-oh.
Now, I'm going to ask you to cough when I put my hand right.
Don't do that!
It's for the exam.
I don't care if it's for national defense. Don't do that!
You want to get better, don't you?
Uh-huh.
Well, then I need to put my hand right.
Don't do that!
Do you trust me?
No.
Look, I do this to over 50 men a week.
I think that'd be enough.
Just relax.
I'll try.
Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now I'll just put my hand right.
Don't do that!
If you'll just drop your hands.
Okay.
Now drop the bedpan.
Okay.
Now think beautiful thoughts.
Greta Garbo.
No, think relaxing thoughts.
Greta Garbo giving me a bubble.
Think happy thoughts.
Greta blowing on my bubbles.
Now keep thinking that while I put my hand right.
Don't do that! Why you do that? It's not nice to do that. Do I do that? I don't do that. My mom don't do that. My dad don't do that. My dog don't do that.
What about your girlfriend?
My dame don't do that.
Have you asked her?
Oh yeah, I pleaded with her to do that.
You pleaded.
I pleaded till I was out of breath.
Out of breath?
Yeah, I had pleated pants.
And what'd she say?
I don't do that. So I proposed to her.
You proposed.
I proposed to do that. So we went before the preacher and he asked if I'd take her as my wife.
And what'd you say?
I don't do that.
Oh, I bet your bride got pretty sore.
Oh yeah, she dumped me.
She dumped you?
She picked me up and dumped me in the trash can.
And what'd you say?
Don't do that.
And now, let's listen to our favorite couple, John and Mary Everyman. I think Mary has a surprise for John.
Dinner's ready, honey. I made your favorite. Meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and canned mixed vegetables.
Oh boy.
So what do you think, John?
These vegetables taste different.
You noticed.
Of course I noticed, Mary. They're crunchier and more flavorful.
Do you like them?
No! They taste like fresh vegetables and they take too long to chew. What'd you do?
I just tried a new brand.
Darn it, honey! Why bother paying for canned vegetables? They lack that canned vegetable goodness. When I eat canned vegetables, I want to feel the can. I want Flemners.
John knows something a lot of modern wives forget. Fresh vegetables taste awful. That's why when we make Flemner's certified canned vegetables, we choose the finest and freshest vegetables, sell them to another company for a huge profit, and can the rest for your eating pleasure. In a recent taste test where people tasted both Flemner's certified canned corn and Flemner's certified canned peas, 9 out of 10 people couldn't tell the difference.
I switched back to Flemner's, darling. What do you think?
Now that's what I call bland. As long as you keep cooking me this, honey, I'll tell the divorce lawyers to stay away.
This is what I call marital bliss.
In a recent blind taste test where people were blindfolded and asked to compare Flemner's certified canned vegetables and another brand, 5 out of 10 people couldn't find the fork. So ladies, next time you're in the produce section of your supermarket, get out of there immediately and buy Flemner's certified canned vegetables. And remember,
Once you've tasted Flamners, you can't taste anything else.
and now, the Wacko Brothers Show presents Wally Wacko, Private Investigator.
May I investigate your privates?
Tonight's case, murder most messy.
Wally Wacko, private investigator.
I found my husband dead in bed.
Have you considered showing him photos of Greta Garbo,
Mr. Wacko, I am Mrs. Walter Dumont,
wife of the famous tycoon?
now wife of the famous dead tycoon, and I think the murderer is in my home.
What makes you say that?
I'm giving a party at my palatial estate, and none of the guests have left yet. When the party began, my husband was alive.
I'll be right over. Although I was about to make myself a bologna and cheese sandwich, I immediately picked up my partner and rushed to the mansion, where I knew they'd have better food.
Oh, Mr. Wacko, and Mr. Wacko, thank goodness you're here. My husband's body is lying upstairs with over 20 stab wounds in his back.
Have you ruled out suicide?
Did your husband have any enemies?
Everyone at this party had a reason to kill him.
Have you contacted the police?
Why? You think they had a reason to kill him too?
I haven't contacted anyone but you. I want you to mingle and see if you can find the killer, but whatever you do, you must be discreet.
Okay, well, we'll see what we can learn. But before we start, I'd like to discuss my retainer.
Your retainer?
Yes, will you hold it while I have lunch?
I don't understand.
Well, I'm not working for free.
If you do the job well, money's no object.
Then I'll charge by the hour and work slowly.
Say, this is a swell joint you got. You must be loaded.
My late husband made a great deal of money.
He married you. Then he must have been loaded.
How dare you insult her? Can't you see that she's a fine example of livelihood? I mean womanhood?
The woman I see, I ain't looking under her hood.
Go away. Start mingling.
I think I'll start with that gal over there. What a cutie.
I think I'll start at the buffet table. And I promise you, Mrs. Dumont, that within 1 hour, I shall either reveal the murderer or have seconds. Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I'm one of Mrs. Dumont's guests, Wallace Wacko, the noted financial genius.
Really?
Yes, I started as a financial idiot and worked my way up. And who are you?
I am Victor Waterham.
Not the Victor Waterham, the famous has-been actor.
How dare you?
How dare I? I saw the last play you starred in. Your performance was so wooden, it had termites, and they got better reviews than you did.
I'll have you know, I've gotten accolades.
And they belong in the Everglades.
Sir, I'm beginning to see red.
Oh yeah? Is there any red in this room?
Well, no.
Then it's a pigment of your imagination.
Hey there, cutie. What's your name?
My name is Ethel Smythe Jones.
Can't make up mind about your last name, huh?
No, my last name is Smythe Jones. I'm hyphenated.
My last name's Wacko. I'm vaccinated.
What is your hand doing on my knee?
I'm testing your reflexes.
Get it off!
Good reflexes. So tell me, how are you on dates? How are you with con men? How do you like your eggs? If the answer to any of these questions is easy, let me know.
Why I never?
Well, that answers question number 1.
I don't trust you. Get away from me.
Well, that answers number 2.
I'm leaving.
Too bad. I never found out about her eggs.
Which makes me think that financial concerns in the coming quarter.
Excuse me, but I happened to overhear your conversation, and it was sufficiently boring that I thought I'd interrupt.
My friend was just telling me he's looking for a new accountant.
Well, I can highly recommend mine, Frank Wamboozle. He's a cannibal, but he's a great accountant.
Is he?
Of course, he charges an arm and a leg. Now, let's talk about altering clothes, a fitting topic. Is a male seamstress called a seamster? If Tom Thumb were the son of a king, would that make him a finger prince? Is it true that there's a pot of goldfish at the end of the rainbow trout?
One can never be too sure about such things.
That's the dullest remark I've ever heard. On your driver's license, does it say you're legally bland?
I'll have you know, this man is a college professor with 3 degrees.
What are you, an academia nut?
Well, goodbye, sir.
Mr. Wacko, you just offended one of my guests, and I don't think you're close to solving the murder.
Oh, forget about the murder and think about the happier things, like being a wealthy widow. Mrs. Dumont, you're irresistible. Marry me, and I'll give you everything you don't already have.
There's nothing I don't have.
And that's what I'll give you. Oh, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways.
But
it won't take but a second.
do you?
I'm just saying I love you, that's all.
But my husband was just murdered.
Ah, enough about your husband. Let's get married. It'll be murder for the both of us.
But
don't you understand? I'm falling for you, I tell you. I'm falling for you. And if you had any decency, you'd lie down and cushion my fall.
Mr. Wacko, I have no idea
Talk. That's all you do. When you leave a room, do they call it gone with the wind bag?
Mr. Wacko.
And speaking of turnips, where'd my partner disappear to?
Hey, you there. I want to talk to you.
Me?
Yeah, you. Boy, you're a cutie.
Well, I'm just the maid.
What's your name?
My name's Sally.
My name's Willie. Hi.
Your name's Willie High.
Yes, I was born Willie Hello, but we shortened it when we came over on the boat. So, how'd you like to go out with me? We could have dinner, international style.
International style?
Yeah, Dutch treat. And if you're feeling a little naughty, we could go to a pickle factory.
A pickle factory?
Yeah, it's a house of dill repute.
You know, you may look stupid, but I bet beneath it all, you're a nice guy.
Lady, you let me get beneath it all and I'll be as nice as you want.
Well, I don't know, but if you come to the kitchen, I can offer you some tea and, you know.
My favorite, tea and strumpets.
Hey there, Romeo, not so fast. We haven't solved the case yet.
My guess is the butler did it.
What makes you say that?
It's an educated guess, based on complete ignorance.
Wait a second. I've got an idea. Attention, everyone, attention. A lot of you are probably wondering what I'm doing here. My name is Wally Wacko, and I'm a travel agent. And I'm here to offer you all a 10% discount on my upcoming safari to Africa. Yes, you'll get 10% off, which is more than I got on my last date. Africa, where the wildcats roam, unlike Italy, where the Roman cats are wild. Africa, where you can go anywhere, but what can you do about it?
Mr. Wacko, what are you doing?
Trust me. And now I have an announcement to make. The reason Mr. Dumont hasn't come downstairs tonight isn't because you're all a bunch of twits, but because he's been murdered!
Yes!
And unless Mrs. Dumont is willing to pay me for another hour, I need the murderer to confess in the next 2 minutes. Anyone? You know that the show's running long. I really could use a confession. Look, it's easy. All you have to say is, okay, I confess, I am the killer!
That's the worst acting I have ever seen.
And I suppose, Mr. Waddingham, that you can do better.
Certainly. Listen. Okay. I confess. I am the killer.
Well, everyone heard it. Victor Waddingham just confessed. Admit it, Waddingham. A bad actor like you, a wealthy friend like Dumont. I bet you owed him plenty. And you knew you'd never be able to get a good role again and pay him back unless all the good actors in town died. And it was easier to kill him than 10 actors.
You're a little too smart for your own good, Wacko. How'd you like to be filled with lead?
He's got a gun! Yes!
And I'm not afraid to use it.
Hey, I hear they need an understudy in Tobacco Road.
What? Oh.
Thanks for distracting him, Willie.
Good work smashing him with the vase, Wally.
That happened to be a priceless heirloom.
Oh, my apologies to the priceless airhead. Well, it turns out that Victor Woodham was both a murderer and a royal pain.
What makes a royal?
I felt like crowning him.
Oh, Mr. Wacko and Mr. Wacko, I don't know how to thank you.
We accept both cash and checks.
If there's anything I can do for you,
We accept both cash and checks.
come here. Let me kiss you both.
I think I'm missing some teeth.
I'm missing my tonsil.
Well, Mrs. Dumont, we were very glad we could help. And if we can ever be of assistance in the future, don't do that!
Mom, do you have trouble getting your children out of bed each morning because they're afraid to eat your breakfast? Then listen to this.
Oh, look at the little orphans eating their breakfast. What a happy lot they are.
Why is that boy walking towards us? Oh, it's that pesky Oliver Twist.
What is it, Oliver?
Please, sir, I want some more.
What?
I want some more gruel. More gruel? You want more gruel? But, sir, it's Flemner's cup of gruel.
Okay, Oliver. I guess nobody can have just one bowl of Flemner's cup of gruel.
Yes, for a breakfast that makes you want to get out of the house fast, it's Flemner's Cup o' Gruel, the gruel used by 4 out of 5 licensed pending orphanages. Each cup of Flemner's Cup o' Gruel contains 11% more fat than oatmeal, 20% more wood products than cream of wheat, and 34% more vitamin C than ice cubes. And kids love it. Right, Oliver?
That's gruel.
Mom, the next time you're at your local grocery or hardware store, buy Flemner's Cup o' Gruel. And remember,
Once you've tasted Flamners, you can't taste anything else.
Well, that's our show for tonight, folks.
We want to thank all listeners for tuning us in every week.
And if any of you are thinking of listening to another show instead of ours, just remember, don't do that. See you next week. Now, all we have to do is get to the car repair shop before it closes.
Don't worry, look what's in the parking lot.
My car!
I felt bad about what happened to it, so after it got fixed, I had it delivered to the show. Let's get in.
Oh, my sweet little car. Did you have to pay someone to bring it over?
Nah, Cousin Billy did it. And he felt so bad about what happened that he filled it up too.
He did?
Give it a try. I just remembered I gotta go somewhere. See you, Wally.
Where do you think you're going?
I'm not sure, but given how you're looking at me, I think I'll hitchhike to Siberia.
Radio Ridiculous will continue after a brief intermission. Intermission is sponsored by Flemner's Cookies, recommended by 4 out of 5 doctors who need more business. This is Radio Ridiculous.
Now it's time for intermission, so let's all hit the trail and gather around the sweet bar where these goodies are on sale. Oh, we ride in the rodeo with rope and stairs.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, with Ralph Edwards' permission, I'm going to play Truth or Consequences with the audience here in the studio. Would you like that, folks? Okay. All right, now, here's the question. How many empty Pabst Blue Ribbon bottles have you returned to your dealer during the past week? How many? All right. Even though you've told the truth, you'll have to pay the consequences. And that goes for everybody listening in. Tomorrow morning, right after breakfast, take a bushel basket or a paper bag, go out into your pantry and down into the cellar and out in the garage, and gather up every empty Pabst Blue Ribbon bottle you can find. Now, before sunset tomorrow night, you're to return all those bottles to your dealer. Aren't we devils, dear? Now, just because you've been a mighty good sport about it.
Stand by for on air. On air is 3, 2.
And now back to Radio Ridiculous. Calla Lily's Condensed Milk, the milk that comes from efficient cows, presents the Condensed Classic Hour, bringing you the greatest works of literature in a form you don't have to read. Tonight, a thrilling tale of tyranny, courage, heartbreak, and cheese. A tale of two miserables, based on the novel by Hugo Dickens. Tonight's special program is brought to you without commercial interruption, more or less.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the worst of times. It was the best of times. At times, it was both the best and the worst of times. And other times, it was neither the best nor the worst of times. Sometimes, the town clock stopped, and I couldn't tell if it was the best of times, the worst of times, or an hour past the best or the worst of times. My name is Jean Valjean. This is my story, and this is my life. The Bastille prison in Paris, France, sometime in the mid-1700s. I'd be more specific, but I was too poor to own a calendar, or anything else.
Here is your home, you rancid clump of second-hand yogurt. May you rot in it forever.
As I looked around my cell, 3 prisoners approached me. They were the filthiest, smelliest, most wretched-looking men I'd ever seen. And that was with the benefit of dim lighting.
What's your name, prisoner?
My name is Jean Valjean.
What are you in for?
My sister's family was starving, and to feed them, I stole a loaf of bread.
What kind of bread?
Pumpernickel.
Ah.
And what are you all in for?
Whole wheat.
Rye bread.
8 to 10 for dinner rolls.
They throw men in prison for stealing bread?
I know. They make it like we're attacking the soul of France. It's just bread.
It's not like we stole cheese.
Shh! Footsteps. It's the guard and another prisoner.
Here's your home, you pus-filled pile of buttermilk. May you rot in it forever. What is your name, prisoner?
My name is Marcel Duval.
What are you in for?
I stole some cheese.
What kind of cheese?
What?
Infidel!
Traitor! Let's kill him!
Time passed slowly with these fellows. I learned to keep my thoughts to myself, especially on the topic of cheese. Finally, after several years, I think it was 5, but without a calendar, it was hard to tell. I was released, but was I free? Forced to wear a yellow identification tag. It was clear who I was, an ex-convict. The fact that I hadn't showered or shaved for 5 years probably didn't help either.
Who is it?
Please let me in. I just need shelter for the night.
And risk losing my croissants? Never.
I was turned away over and over until I considered killing myself, or at least bathing. Finally.
May I help you, you poor, wretched, filthy creature?
Oh, forgive me, Reverend.
Oh, actually, I'm a bishop. I wear finer outfits and I eat finer cheese. Come in, my boy. Come in.
Are you sure? My shoes are muddy and I don't...
Come in. I can tell you are good.
You can?
I've been in the church for 53 years. I've lost all touch with reality. Come inside. Let us dine together and we shall discuss what an obnoxious twit Martin Luther was.
He gave me food and wine and a sponge bath. I would have preferred bathing myself, but I didn't want to seem impolite. And when he fell asleep, I repaid his gratitude by stealing all of his silver and running away. The next morning.
What a surprise to see you, Inspector Javert. Oh, I see you have a guest with you.
I'm sorry to bother you, Bishop, but this wretched but well-bathed creature claims you gave him this silver.
Thank you so much for bringing him back.
I'm just doing my...
I wanted to give him my candlestick, too.
What?
Come in, friend, come in.
But...
I'd invite you, Inspector, but your shoes are muddy. Goodbye.
I do not know how to thank you.
Well, you could make a banana cream pie using calla lilies condensed milk. Calla lilies makes every dessert tasty and delicious. It's the milk that comes from efficient cows.
I don't know how to cook.
Oh, well, have a seat and we'll nitpick about Episcopalians. Would you like a cashew?
No, thank you.
They're very good.
Your Holiness, I cannot tell you how moved I am by how you've treated me. This is the first act of kindness I received in more years than I can estimate without a calendar. I swear to you, and I swear to the Lord, I shall steal no more, unless absolutely necessary. And even then, only what I need to survive, plus an additional 10%, which I shall give directly to the church. Okay, I won't steal it all. I vow to spend the rest of my life doing good. Are you satisfied? What do you want from me?
The cashews. I'm joking.
Oh, let me tap you on the back to dislodge them. Apparently, I gained some upper body strength in prison. Oh, Lord, I will dedicate the rest of my life to doing good if you bring this holy man back to life. No pulse. Lord, did you hear my prayer? I vow to do good from now on if you let this holy man live. Sometimes, Lord, I think you're an atheist. As I knew nobody would believe my story, I buried the bishop in his backyard and wrote a note. Gone to Lourdes. Be back soon. I took the silver, stole a horse, and disappeared into the woods.
Nay!
The bishop's death strengthened my resolve to win the Lord's favor by helping humankind, while avoiding nut products. Through a series of contrivances which make for great literature, but which won't fit in a 1-hour radio show, I ended up in the town of Saint-Laflamme, where I became a prosperous factory owner and mayor. One day in the town square. What is all the commotion about?
Excuse me, I'm the new police chief, Inspector Javert. And you are?
I'm the mayor of this town.
You look familiar.
Perhaps you've seen my campaign posters.
Did you ever use cashews as a murder weapon?
Hey, watch what you say. This is our mayor.
And what do you know of his past?
Who cares? He lowered taxes.
Inspector, I assure you, we've never met, and that any resemblance I have to actual persons living or dead is strictly a coincidence. Now, what is all the commotion about?
I caught this lowly peasant girl selling her body. Throw her in prison and don't let her socialize on Visitor's Day.
Is what he said true?
Have pity on me, kind sir. I couldn't get a job. I was desperate. I sold my hair so I could eat, and when I ran out of money, I sold my body.
You poor, pathetic, and bald creature.
Hey, some men like that.
And women.
Wait a second. Aren't you the honest but oversexed peasant girl at Canteen? Don't you work at my factory?
I did, until I was fired for having a child out of wedlock.
What does that have to do with your ability to work?
It's not just about her. If you let some wench with an illegitimate child work at the factory, then all the factory girls would want illegitimate children.
And if all the factory girls have illegitimate children, then all the farm girls will want illegitimate children. Then all the dairy maids and all the seamstresses
Soon we'll have bastards coming out of our ears.
There's only one fair solution to this.
Does it involve stoning?
Ouch!
Oh, I was thinking of a scarlet letter.
Why not Puce, the Puce A for adultery?
How about Indigo? Indigo W for whore.
No. Mo, the Mo B-U-T for bald unemployed tramp.
Canteen,
Yes?
while the villagers are distracted, come with me.
I'm sorry, Mayor, but I'm closed for the night.
You're bleeding. I'm taking you to the hospital.
Oh, Mayor, this is the kindest deed anyone has ever done for me.
Don't get too excited. It's a public hospital. They'll probably kill you.
I'm dying, Mayor. I'm dying.
I'm sorry, Canteen.
And to think, I came in with just a bad cut.
I told the surgeon barber there was no need to operate. But since he couldn't make any money cutting your hair,
Oh, Mayor, I ask but one favor before I die.
anything, Canteen, anything. Years ago, I vowed to do good, and so far, I haven't been very good at it. Tell me what you wish, and I promise it will be done.
All I ask is you look after my little girl, Clausette.
I'm really not good with children.
She's a good girl, and she's horribly mistreated by the woman whose custody I left her.
But I'm really not good with children.
30 seconds ago, you said anything.
I'm a politician. I make promises. I cannot refuse a plea so desperate, so innocent, and so easy. I shall do it.
Thank you. Now I can die in peace.
May your soul be in heaven, Canteen.
I'm not done yet.
May your soul...
Still not done.
Canteen? Canteen? As I looked at her dead body, at least I think she was dead, I thought about how my resolve to do good hadn't done her any good at all. Maybe I could do better good by taking care of her daughter. Giddy up!
Nay!
I rode to a nearby town where the girl was being treated as a virtual slave by the despicable wine shop owner, Madame Fromage.
I'm out of despicable wine. Go away. I said
I
go.
come for the little girl, Clausette. Her mother has died, and I promised I would take care of her.
Do you have a death certificate?
No, but...
What was her mother's favorite cheese?
Brie?
No, Camembert. Go away. I told you.
I can describe her.
Go ahead.
Frail, oversexed, and bald.
Oh, yes, that's her.
So, now if you'll just hand over Clausette...
Never.
But I promised Canteen on her death...
I'm sorry, but I adore the little bastard. Far too much to part with her.
I doubt that.
It's true. I love her as if she were one of my own bastards.
Would 50 francs make parting with her easier?
How dare you? I'm insulted.
I'm sorry.
And such a cheap insult, too.
100 francs. 150?
You clearly don't know the going rate for bastards.
200?
She's in mint condition, you know.
250.
No calluses, no lice.
275.
Only ran her around the neighborhood, never in the country.
300 francs, and that's my final offer.
500 francs, and not 1 franc less.
500 francs?
And 200 lima beans.
What?
I like francs and beans.
Okay, I'll pay it. Madame Fromage, you are a contemptible lowlife.
And you, sir, are now a daddy.
The next 13 years were uneventful and take up only 300 pages in the original novel. But as time passed, the peasants of France, starving and desperate, were inspired by the courage of the American colonies. Throughout France, there were rumbles of revolution. And mumbling as well. With France no longer a safe place to live, Clausette, now a beautiful young woman, and I took a boat to England. I'm sorry, my valiant steed, but they don't allow horses on this boat. Clausette, you are indeed a beautiful young woman.
Thank you, Father.
You know, I'm not your biological father.
I know, Father, but you're still my father.
And I never legally adopted you either.
I don't care, Father. Is there something you're trying to tell me, Father?
It's just that when I see how you've developed, I,
Oh, Father. 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 Father!
I'm going to take a little walk around the boat now.
I'll be here, Father.
Be sure to button up. There's a chill in the air, and I don't want you to catch an ample chest cold. I'm going for a walk.
It is cold out here. I'm about to sneeze in French. Lachou!
May I offer you my handkerchief?
I'm sorry. I don't speak to handsome strangers.
Then let us converse, so I am not a stranger.
Will that make you less handsome?
Not a chance. What's your name?
Clausette. And what's yours?
Well, as I'm in the process of reinventing myself. Oops, that just slipped out. My name is Darius.
And what takes you to England?
I was raised a spoiled aristocrat, the son of the Marquis de Dammit, the most cursed name in France. But I've run away to start a brand new life.
That's noble of you.
Noble? I'm trying to be middle class.
You are?
Yes, I want to do middle class things and eat middle class desserts like calla lilies condensed like chocolate pudding made with calla lilies condensed milk. I'm sure to be as tasty as if you used whipped cream, but at a fraction of the cost. Calla lilies condensed milk. The milk that turns a middle class budget into something rich.
That's true.
And now, since we just met and I'd like to impress you, may I recite a dandy poem I've written about the situation of France?
If you like.
The time which we live in is rotten. It is a time that I'd rather be not in. But when this time is forgotten, I'll still love potatoes au coton. What do you think?
You're so handsome.
Would you like to hear another?
If you wish.
This one is about the situation between King George III and the colonies. George Washington's men have all rebelled. They've claimed the land King George once held. King George is the George who will end up beneath, but America's George has better teeth. What do you think?
You're still handsome. Oh, here comes my father. Father, I'd like you to meet Darius, a handsome man half your age. Darius, this is my father.
Pleased to meet you.
Sir, as I'm in the process of reinventing myself. Damn it! That keeps slipping out! And, well, I wasn't sure what I was going to do in London. But now that I've met your extraordinarily beautiful daughter...
We're like good friends, actually.
Oh, look, we're about to land.
Look at all the police on the deck.
Oh, my.
Prepare to dock! Drop anchor! Everyone ashore!
Excuse me, but may I have a word with you?
You want to talk to me, Constable?
Not you, the handsome man, half your age.
What is it?
Are you the one who recited political poems?
Yes, but I...
In the name of His Majesty, I charge you with treason!
Although I had no intention of helping this young stranger, I didn't mind the strangeness as much as the youth. Clausette pleaded with me to get the best lawyer in London. I asked around and learned of a brilliant wastrel who had no scruples whatsoever. Everyone agreed he was the best lawyer in town. When I met Sidney Carton, I felt an immediate bond, as if both of our souls understood misery far too well. I dealt with that misery by trying to do good by my fellow man. He dealt with it by drinking and overcharging. At Darius's trial.
Order in the court. The prosecution may proceed.
Is it true, Clausette, that you met the defendant on the boat from France?
Yes, sir, that's true.
And is it true he spoke more highly of the United States than of England?
Well...
Remember, you're under oath.
He did say George Washington had better teeth.
Order in the court.
Now, answer honestly, is it true the defendant wrote a poem in which he mentioned potatoes au gratin?
Well, yes, so?
I'm sure the jury knows what that's code for. Potatoes, Ireland, au gratin, France. Potatoes au gratin, the French-Irish political alliance, and a cheesy one at that. The prosecution rests, Your Honor.
Mr. Cotton, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have but one question, and one witness. The accused.
Order.
The prosecution claims the accused is a subversive poet. Here's my one question for the accused. Darius, what word rhymes with orange?
Let me think. Bonge, conge, don.
It is a trick question.
Conge, gauge,
Any real
orange,
poet knows that no word rhymes with orange.
Donge, mon.
This man is clearly not a poet and thus cannot be a subversive poet. The defense rests.
The jury deliberated 30 seconds before announcing.
We find the defendant not worth publishing.
Case dismissed.
Oh, Darius, you're free. My heart is filled with joy.
Bonge, yon, zonge. He's right.
A brilliant defense, Mr. Carton.
Thank you, Mr. Carton. I am forever in your debt.
Well, if you ever want to cash in that debt.
As soon as Sidney looked at Clausette, I knew he'd fallen under her spell. Now 2 men loved her, an unscrupulous drunkard and a superficial twit.
2 men want me? What fun!
I hate parenthood. Darius soon proposed to Clausette, and she said yes. Apparently my beautiful, innocent ward was also an idiot, and nothing I could say would increase her IQ, so I blessed their marriage and returned to France, where I hope I could finally do good by helping the cause of liberty. Soon I worked my way up into the elite leadership of French revolutionaries. To protect our identities, each of us used the name Jacques. For months, we planned each moment of the revolution until... Before we start tonight's meeting, I'd like to take roll. Jacques.
Oui.
Jacques.
Oui.
Jacques.
Oui.
Jacques. Jacques. Jacques.
Oui.
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 Jacques. 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 Jacques.
Oui.
Oui.
V.
Oui.
Gentlemen, I am deeply honored to be in the company of a bunch of Jacques. The moment for which we have long planned has finally arrived. Gentlemen of France, when the clock strikes 10 on Wednesday night, we storm the Bastille!
I cannot make it Wednesday night.
Why not, Jacques?
My mother-in-law's visiting, and I've avoided her so many times that my wife has insisted I spend the evening with them or she'll leave me.
Well, I guess we don't have to do it on Wednesday nights. Gentlemen of France, when the clock strikes 10 on Thursday nights, we storm the Bastille!
Yeah.
I have a cooking class on Thursday night.
So for 1 week, you'll skip it.
But Thursday night he's making coq au vin.
Oh.
Okay, how's Friday for everyone?
Oi,
Yes, Jacques Bernstein.
it's Shabbat.
So,
According to my rabbi, no storming on Shabbat.
how about Saturday night? Yes, Jacques.
That's the night I see my mistress.
Sunday night?
That's the night I see Jacques' mistress.
Gentlemen, have you forgotten why we're fighting this fight? We are fighting not just for ourselves, but for our women and our children.
I don't have any children.
And our nephews and nieces. Remember the larger picture. Patriots of France, what I am asking for is nothing less than sacrifice. Sacrifice from every man here. Let us choose a night that's best for France, and then, united in sacrifice for the noble cause of freedom, we'll storm the Bastille!
Yeah!
2 months later, we storm the Bastille.
Get the battering ram! 1, 2, 3.
As I watch the door to the Bastille crash to the ground and the prisoners walk into freedom, for a moment, the misery in my soul was cleansed.
Free at last.
At last I'm free.
Free, free, free.
Look at them, Jacques, in prison no more. Isn't that a beautiful sight?
Do you realize that besides freeing the poor and falsely accused, we're also releasing thousands of thieves, rapists, and murderers?
You couldn't have brought that up a week ago?
Look, here comes the king's soldiers.
To the barricades! Outside the Bastille, a battle soon began. Although many soldiers quickly joined our side, a few loyal to the king began to attack us with gunfire and cannons. How are the supplies holding out?
Terrible! Our supplies are so low the men have been forced to eat American cheese.
Yeah.
Yoo-hoo, father.
Darius, what are you doing here?
I've got good news.
Can't you see I'm overthrowing a tyrannical government? Go away!
It's really great news, grandfather.
Darius, watch out!
Ah!
It's only a shoulder wound, but we must get you to the hospital. A good hospital. There's one not too far.
But how will we get beyond those soldiers?
I have an idea. Jacques? I'll be back in a moment. Take my gun.
Where are you taking me?
We'll escape into the sewers of Paris.
But I'm wearing my crimson cloak. It's my featherhead.
So,
It'll get filthy.
you can have it clean after I rescue you from certain death. Follow me.
I never learned how to dress for a revolution. Oh, boy, it stinks in here.
This way.
I feel nauseous.
Relax. Take deep breaths.
Ho, 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 ho.
Oh, on second thought, don't take deep breaths.
The smell, the garbage, and all these things. I can't believe what people saw out.
Oh, look, a copy of the Count of Monte Cristo.
I've heard great things about that book.
Well, here, take it.
No, it's covered in excrement.
Only on the first 23 pages. The story doesn't really get going for like the first 200. Take it.
No,
Take it!
I don't know how to read.
But you were raised an aristocrat. Weren't you taught to read?
Oh, no, I was taught oppression, tyranny, and self-justification. Reading was an elective.
So...
I wanted to take it, but my mother thought ballroom that it was more practical.
Okay, I'll throw it back. I think we go... this way.
Look, over there. What oddly shaped cats?
They're called rats.
Oh, really? So that's what the fuss has been about.
Oh, here we are. The other side of this manhole cover should just be the outside of the hospital. Help me.
But I'm wounded.
Do it!
Okay!
It looks safe. Come on up.
Oh, look.
On my way out of the sewer, the bullet fell out of my shoulder. What a great day this is!
Except for the soldiers running from behind that building!
Guards, arrest those men!
Why are they running at us with their swords?
Oh, you know, best of times, worst of times.
Seize them!
Japert!
I knew we'd meet again.
But why are you arresting me? I have done nothing my entire life.
Don't act so innocent. You may pretend to be middle class, but are you not the son of the Marquis de Darn Dang Dammit?
Well, yes, but
I hereby arrest you on the charge of being a horrible tyrant, once removed.
But...
Guards, take the young one away. I can take care of the older one.
See you later, Vazel.
Arresting former aristocrats. I see you've switched allegiances.
My allegiance has always been to justice.
Then what is my crime?
You've been a pain in the butt my whole life. Violating parole, killing a bishop, raising a bastard without a license. Do you know how much paperwork you've caused me?
I'm sorry,
Oh, that makes everything fine, doesn't it? Everything's just peachy now, isn't it? I'm sorry! It's supposed to fix everything? After Attila the Hun sacked Rome, he should have said, I'm sorry, and then everything would have been fine. Get ready for the justice of my sword. Prepare to die.
Swords for sale! Swords for sale! Guaranteed to be in my hand at any damn time!
Boy, here's a coin. Quick, toss me one. Got it. I'm not prepared to die quite yet, Japert.
If that's what you think, we will now have to duel to the death. En garde.
On guard. Take this.
Take that.
Take this.
Take that.
Take these.
Take those.
Take them.
Enough with the pronouns. Maybe we should fight silently.
Fine by me. You fight very well.
Thank you, so do you.
Yes, I do believe I'm winning.
No, listen, I'm winning.
You think so? Then get ready for this. Aha! I ripped your shirt.
Big deal, my tailor can fix it.
Now it's completely off.
I was getting hot anyway, besides. Now we're both shirtless.
What stylish underwear you have. Or had.
And you don't even wear underwear.
And now, you don't even have a sword. Tell me, Japert, how do you like the feel of cold steel against your rotten neck?
Oh, just kill me and be done with it.
Aye.
What are you waiting for? Or do you lack the courage to kill me?
Maybe I did. My brain began to think about the basic questions of life and death, about right and wrong, justice and mercy. Here was a man who, if I let him live, would do everything in his power to take my life. And yet my conscience, uh-oh, I feel a sneeze coming on. Oops! With the revolution a success and the end of an aristocracy, I hoped France would begin a new era of peace and kindness. But I was wrong. Revenge was in the air, and the reign of terror had begun to thunder. It's a metaphor. Clausette came to Paris for the trial of her beloved Darius. Sidney escorted her to ensure her safe passage, and in case if the trial went poorly, she'd be looking for a new husband.
Order in the court! Order in the court! Isn't it true, Darius, that you and your father, the cursed Marquis de Darndang, damn it, lived off the blood of the peasants?
I never lived off the blood of peasants.
Isn't it true that at dinner parties you used to serve peasant under glass?
Not peasant. Pheasant. I served pheasant under glass.
What kind of sauce?
The important thing is, I'm no longer an aristocrat. I'm a citizen like all of you.
Admit it, Darius. You have a split personality.
I do not.
You do too.
Do not.
Do too.
Do not.
Do too.
Do not.
Do too.
Do not.
Do not.
Do too.
Gotcha.
Send him to the guillotine.
Wait! Wait!
What is it, citizen?
My name is Jean Valjean. The accused is my son-in-law.
My sympathies.
He has renounced his past and desires nothing more than to live like the rest of us. Executing him will serve no one. Letting him live will benefit us all.
Oh, not so fast!
Madame Fromage, what are you doing here?
As a young woman, I worked for the cursed Marquis de Darndang, damn it. He mistreated me. He abused me, and whenever he wanted a sick thrill, he made me say his name in pig Latin over and over.
Yes.
The Marquis de Arnday Angday Amate. Arnday Angday Amate. Arnday Angday Amate. Arnday Angday Amate. Arnday Angday Amate.
Are we unanimous? We're unanimous. Next case.
Darius was taken to the Bastille, then Clausette, Sydney, and I returned to a local inn.
Here you go, Pooch. Have some meat soaked in wine.
Oh, Father, there must be something we can do.
Don't give up hope.
How can you say that? By an hour after sunrise tomorrow, Darius will be dead in meat.
Oh, no.
Sydney, please, you're disturbing Clausette.
Do you disagree with me?
Not really.
I can't listen to this. I'm going to my room. Wrong room.
Look at this country. I try to do good, but everywhere you look, there is corruption, prejudice, and hatred.
That's how people are.
You don't like people, do you?
I care for no man, and no man cares for me. Dogs like me. Have some more meat. Strong one.
What a pair of miserables we are.
Who is a cure as well, puppy?
Well, one of us is miserable. For years now, all I've wanted is to do good. But no good has ever come of it. Just once, I would like to do a deed that I would be sure would work out well. Just once,
You know what? I bet we cheer you up now.
No, what?
A lemon raspberry crumb bar. Made with Callaway's condensed milk. It's so tasty.
It's the 1700s. They're not going to invent condensed milk for another century.
Oh. In that case, you're doomed.
I couldn't sleep that night. I kept thinking about Clausette and her child-to-be, who would be fatherless unless I saved Darius. But there was no way to get Darius out of the Bastille. None whatsoever. Unless the guards thought it wasn't Darius who was leaving. That's it. And then Sydney could arrange everyone's safe passage out of France. I went down the hall and awoke my trusted aide, Francois, whom I've never gotten around to telling you about. In the dark of a moonless night, we bribed 2 Bastille guards to let us inside, just so we could say goodbye to Darius. We were taken to a large, dark cell filled with men and women. The guard pointed out a black and dingy corner where a man slept under a crimson cloak. His face was covered with soot. His hair was filthy and matted, and his features were altered beyond recognition. It's amazing what 12 hours in the Bastille can do.
5 minutes. That's all you get.
Thank you, guard. That's all we want. Quick, Francois, give him the knockout drops so he'll stay asleep. Then I'll take his cloak, and you can wrap mine around him. The guards won't care who leaves, as long as the number of prisoners remains the same.
Sir, are you sure you know what you're doing?
I've never been more sure of anything.
Okay, here goes.
Quickly, and here, I'll put my hat on in too. Now I'll lie down. Call the guard.
Oh, guard! Guard!
Farewell, Francois, and thank you. You mean the world to me.
Then how come you introduced me so late?
Did you call?
Yes, our visit is over.
It looks like your friend passed out.
It's been a stressful day, and we had too much fun doing lunch. Help me with him.
All right.
Mister,
Who are you?
I saw what you did.
Oh, please don't tell anyone.
Don't worry. I think you've made the greatest sacrifice any human being could make.
Thank you. Finally, I've done good. My life feels justified.
And to think, I witnessed such a sacrifice twice in one night.
Twice?
Oh, yes. The man you replaced came in just an hour ago and replaced someone else.
An hour ago? It was so dark. Can you describe him?
Well, I remember he was pretty drunk. He said he cared for no man but like dogs. He said his name was...
Sidney Carton?
Yes, that's it.
I'm sacrificing my life for a lawyer?
I'm sure he's grateful.
Guard!
Don't yell.
I'll tell them who I really am.
If you do, everyone involved will be killed.
No way is this the best of times. Then came the dawn.
That rooster's an aristocrat.
Off with his head!
We were put in a single file line and marched out of our cell. No budding allowed. We were taken to a large square, filled with peasants eager to witness the spectacle of someone else's death. I was marched up to the top of the platform and the unforgiving steel of the guillotine. As I faced my executioner, to my surprise, I felt not the taste of fear, but the sweetness of irony. Irony even sweeter than Calla Lily's condensed milk.
Any last words?
Just this. It is a far, far dumber thing that I do than I have ever done. It is a far, far dumber place that I go to when my head falls into the basket. It is a far, far, far dumber thing for me.
We're running behind.
Oh, sorry. As I heard the cold blade of the guillotine race towards my neck, my entire life flashed before me, and I realized I don't even like Pumpernickel.
Another drive for the people.
And that's why it will always be the best of times.
And the worst of times.
And the perfect time for...
Calla Lily's condensed milk.
You've been listening to the Condensed Classic Hour. Be sure to tune in again next week for a thrilling tale of tyranny, courage, heartbreak, and medical malpractice. The Three Musketeers Meet Frankenstein, based on the novel by Shelley Dumas. Thank you for listening to our program, and good night from Radio Ridiculous.
The smoothest, coolest guy in town. The chicks all seem to dig his jive. Hey, tell us, Bill, how can we arrive? It's easy, Jack. Any gal gets sent when you flash a smile.